All right, guys, let's talk about HTML table or group, column group. Okay, so the column group is an HTML element that is used to style specific columns of your HTML table. So let's say, for example, if you want to style the two first columns of your table, that's where you are going to use the call group or the column group element. And that call group element is also used with another element that is call element. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the call group element should be used as a container for the column specifications, and each group must be specified with the call element. And we are also going to use the span attribute in order to specify how many columns that will need to get the style, and we use the style attribute in order to specify the style that you want to give to the column. But one thing you have to note here is that the call group element is very limited in terms of the selection of CSS properties that it is supposed to use. But I'm going to talk more about that in a couple of minutes. So how to use a call group? You come here down after the table element, you write call group like this. Let me first close this. So in here, in this, we are going to write another HTML element that is going to be call like this. This is actually an empty tag, so I will simply say it like this. So as I was telling you, we will use the span attribute. So the span here, we are going to specify a value. So this value will determine the number of columns that will be affected by the style that we are going to apply. And then we will use the style attribute in order to talk about, to determine the style that we want to give to our column. So we say background color. And in here, we will specify some color. Okay, so we will do it like this. So that's the color that we are specifying here. So now you see, because we said span 1 here, so it is going to apply to one column. Okay. This is it. All right, so what if we said 2 here? Now you see 2 columns are affected. We say 3. Okay, we say 4. Nah, there you see. So we will say 1 for the moment. So as I was telling you that there's only a very limited selection of CSS properties that are allowed to be used in the core group element. Let's say, for example, if I say that I want the color of the text to be blue, this is not going to work because this particular color CSS property does not work with core group HTML element. So the CSS properties that do work, we have the background properties. Another property would be the width property. So let's say, for example, if I say width 10 pixels here, now you see how the width of the first column is affected. If I say 50 pixels here, okay, one like this, 2 pixels. So this is what actually works. So we have the background properties, we have the width. We also do have the how do you call it? The border properties as well. So if I say border 2 pixels dotted, and I want the color to be red, for example. If I do it like this is not going to work because we already have another border here. So if I remove this, and there you will see that this particular border will work. And another property that will work, we have the visibility property. So, okay, you can set the visibility to hidden or visible or collapse. So that's it about the CSS, the limited selection of CSS properties that you can use with the core group element. And another thing that you need to note about this particular element is that the core group tag here must be a child of the table HTML element, and it should be placed before any other table element, like the table row, the table header, the table data elements. Okay, but there's an exception. If you have a caption element to show on your table, the caption element must be written before the core group. That is to say that the core group must come after the caption element if the caption element is present in your table. Okay, so that's basically that about some of the specificity of this particular element. So let's talk more about some other things you can do. Okay, so we already talked about the fact that we have limited CSS properties. So we have the width property, the visibility property, the background properties, the border properties, which are the CSS properties that will work on this core group HTML element. All the other CSS properties will have no effect on the core group element. And we do have, what if we want to have multiple core group elements or core elements? Okay, we want to have multiple core elements. Here we have one core element. What if you want to have like 2 or plus elements? Like, for example, the second one here, we want to say that it is going to apply on 2 more elements. As for this, we say like this. Okay. So this is actually how it's going to be. Okay. So if you have multiple core element inside a core group element, so the second one here is going to apply the style on the coming selections or the coming columns. So this one is applying on the first column, and this one is going to affect the following columns. So that's what I mean by that. So if we said maybe the third one here, we change the color like this. So now you see what is happening. What if we want, we have some empty call element? If you want to start columns in the middle of a table, you have to, let's say, for example, you just want to style these two, header 2 and header 3 columns. You don't want to style header 1, for example. Okay, so what you have to do is that you come here, simply remove the styling here, like that. So when you remove that, now you can see that only header 2 and header 3 and header 4 and header 5 that are going to be styled. If we don't want header 4 and header 5 columns to be styled, we will remove this, for example. So now you see only the header 2 and header 3 columns are being styled. Okay, so you can also use the visibility, for example, if you want to hide some columns. For example, like here, if we said visibility collapsed. Okay, so this is basically not gonna work because if I say like this, yeah, because there was a typo. So if you say visibility collapse, now you see our header 2 and header 3 columns are going to be hidden. So you can also hide columns using the call group element and the call like this, just like I've just showed you here. So guys, that's it. What I wanted to talk to you about concerning the column group element. And if you have any question about that, what we've just seen in this video, write in the comment section and I will be willing to answer and reply to your comment. And if you like the video, please like the video and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos like this one. Let's meet in the next one.